Welcome to the Friends and Rivals podcast.
Guys like Gretzky and Crosby are like these weird, like autistic sort of hockey autism things.
Let's talk Devils and Islanders, let's talk Penguins and Rangers, but let's not talk about Flyers, cause they're a bunch of fucks, which no one can deny,
Don't try it until you've had it. This is episode 72 of the Friends and Rivals podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Tom Harkness. With me, as always, are
Stephen Wojtowicz, and I just want to say thoughts and prayers to Nick Larita.
Bill Fougere, and I want to say fuck the Islanders, but I wish you all the best, Nick.
Yeah, when he's down.
wow. Well, we had a late scratch. Nick will not be joining us this evening, unfortunately. He is sick. Feel better, buddy. And can't wait to have you back on the program next week. So we will be scratching impressions and our top 5 list tonight, boys. Sorry about that. Just doesn't feel right not to do it without Nick.
Make those changes in your lineup card if you got it.
Yes. So we are going to start out with a little Ride the Metro, sponsored by Nestle Quick. Hello, boys and girls. Do you hate the taste of regular milk and need energy? Try Nestle Quick. One sip and you can feel the energy in your muscles. Nestle Quick, now available in chocolate and strawberry.
They say the real men drink pink, then I'm a real man for sure. But if you like the brown, I still love you for who you are. Because it's time for acceptance of everyone, all preference. We're all quick on the inside anyway. Nestle Quick, it does the trick.
Before I get into Ride the Metro, Rangers Pens, I need to eat a little bit of crow. I gave the Rangers absolutely zero chance of coming back in this series, and I have never been happier to be proven wrong. But I got to hand it to our co-host, our Penguins reporter, Bill Fougere. Never once doubted that the Penguins would blow the 3-1 lead. And Jesus Christ, you were spot on with everything.
What?
Everything. Fucking
Me?
kudos to you, Bill, for being spot on with just about everything. Look, in game 5.
Wait, can I just jump in?
I will get you. Excuse me. I'm trying to get Bill a little praise here.
Friday, 7:37 p.m. So what, the game started at 7?
Yeah.
So this is 30 minutes into the game, give or take. Welp, this one's over.
I was getting to these as even though I did not give them much of a chance in game 5 or in game 6 after they went down 2-0. In both of those games, they did something that only 2 other teams in NHL history have done. And that is come back from a 2-0 deficit in an elimination game, not once, but twice in a series. Unbelievable. The other two were
this one's over.
The other one were the Flyers, fuck the Flyers, and the Red Wings. But both of them happened in the Stanley Cup final. This was the only time it did not happen in the Stanley Cup final. Hopefully it is an omen of what's to come. But
No, it's not. Because if anybody had listened to me, the Penguins were dog shit. I don't even know. The only thing that I don't understand is how the Rangers came
Oh, no.
This would have
Hey,
been
Bill,
so much
Bill,
better
why don't you
if
call us
you
back
didn't have
on?
cable
Why don't you
vision.
call us back from a landline? All right.
Oh my God, it would be so much better if you didn't have fucking cable vision. Oh God,
That whole rant didn't come through.
that the whole rant, we got none of it.
Damn it.
Can you do it again without coughing?
Well, can
Jesus. Oh my goodness. Cablevision, you picked the wrong night to fuck with Bill.
Thank God you are not. Cablevision isn't a fucking sponsor.
Oh my God.
He's
Cablevision.
frozen.
Wow, listen, he's never looked better.
okay, I can hear you guys now. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Before
yeah.
Jordan.
You want to? We need that same energy. Ready? Go.
But I can't find it though. I think what I was saying is that it's not. The only thing that I don't understand is how the Penguins were even ahead in any of the games for any amount of time. The Rangers were so far superior that it's not a surprise at all. Because I watched that team down the stretch. They were dog shit and they couldn't close out anybody. And in fact, I was thinking about this the other day. There's only probably two teams in the entire NHL that I would pick the Penguins to be able to beat in a 7-game series right now. One of them is Detroit because they just kick the crap out of Detroit all season. And the other one is actually Florida because somehow they just beat Bobrovsky all the time. There's no other team in the NHL that I could have seen them beating in a 7-game series. In the playoffs or out of the playoffs. So I don't know what took the Rangers so long to put them away. I don't know why the Rangers went all the way to a Game 7 overtime to be able to put away this shitty fucking team. It's just I actually don't think it bodes well. Hey, they fought through adversity. That's an important thing to do. I just don't think it bodes well altogether that they struggle so mightily with a shitty team to close.
Look, it gives them a little bit of confidence going into the second round, and knowing that they got through the first round and they come back the way they did. Gives Panarin a little bit of confidence. Mika has got some confidence. Kreider's got some confidence. The kid line's got a little bit of swag right now. So you know what? If they came out of this with a little bit of confidence and they can take that into the second round against Carolina and put up a fight, so be it. So be it. And who knows? Maybe it also straightened out Igor because Igor was not playing very well. In fact, at last we left you, Igor got pulled in a 7-2 hockey game that he was just getting peppered on. But
very, very un-Igorian.
Yes, very un-Igorian. And then, within the next 3 games, he kind of found himself. He found his game. And I thought in Game 7, I think it was one of his best games that he played all series long. But the reason why the Penguins were in the position that they were in this first round in this series is because the Rangers had no answer for Jake Gensel. Zero. Jake Gensel, to me, was that series MVP. He scored at will against the Rangers. He had 9 goals in the series, and he scored in every game. Well, it seemed like he scored in every game. So that was a really big reason why the Penguins were where they were, is because of Jake Gensel. So the Rangers needed a big hit, needed something to really change the series. And in Game 5, they kind of got that, right? They got that series changing hit or play that happened. And, it came at the expense of Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby takes a hit from Jacob Trouba in the slot. Trouba kind of lifted his elbow, caught his head. I didn't personally think it was a dirty hit because I'm rooting for the Rangers and rooting for Trouba. But I tried to be as objective as I possibly can be. And to me, it looked like he was playing the puck and I don't think Trouba thought he was playing him there very well, and he didn't want Crosby to get around him. So he reached his elbow out and he caught him in the head. I don't think there was intent there. Should have been a penalty. It wasn't a penalty, right? It wasn't a penalty.
No, they didn't do shit about it. Of course they didn't do shit about it. It was only striking an opponent in the head. Why would the NHL do anything about that?
Right. So here's the play.
Chicken wing there by Jacob Trouba was the one that may have affected Sidney Crosby as he exited the ice at that particular moment. That second period, this chicken wing there by Jacob Trouba.
And look, to Crosby's credit, he came back 2 shifts after this and played, and then he finally just couldn't. He just couldn't go in the third period. And you saw Jeff Carter on the line with Gensel and Rust, and then you saw Malcolm on the line with Gensel and Rust. That kind of changed things, and that's where you started seeing the Rangers started to score, was after Crosby went down. And then later in the third period,
Boyle moves in on Trouba. Boyle went down. And Vetrano carries. Slowed down on the stick check. The chance for him. He scores!
Filipino, I've been saying all year, this kid's got to show me something. And finally, in the playoffs, that's where he decided to score one of the biggest, if not the biggest goal of his career, is to give the Rangers the lead early in the third period, which they did not relinquish. Now, earlier in this play, Boyle was complaining that he got taken down and that he was barking at the referee about a penalty. There was no possible way, short of, Trouba taking I think that's Trouba, taking his stick and whacking Boyle across the face. That would probably be the only way that Trouba was going to get a penalty in that position.
On Trouba.
It did look like a trip. It did look like a trip, 100%. But no call on the play. Down the other end, Hedl scores. Rangers.
So that's 2 calls that went the Rangers' way.
You're going to, okay, sure. Great.
Just saying, next time you complain about the refs, that's 2 calls that went your way.
Well, trust me, we're even for the entire series. If not, the Penguins might be ahead in calls that went their way.
Okay.
What? Whose math is that? Holy shit!
That's Tom.
It's
that's
absolutely
Tom
my math.
And anybody knows
You fucking Ranger fans.
That's like a Tom shortcut, which is always longer than the other way.
No, it's not.
Ranger fans are just proving themselves to be more delusional every day.
No. So then comes game 6 in Pittsburgh. Rangers go down.
You want to check his math on that? Game 6 after game 5? Does that sound right?
Math is good.
Thank you.
Math is good. In this game, the biggest story in here, well, there was 2, right? There was the penalty on Benny the Jet Rodriguez for retaliation to a Ryan Lindgren cross check. And then there was the Kreider goal with just over a minute to go. But that Rodriguez penalty, that retaliation penalty, immediately led to a Mika Zibanejad power play goal to, I think, tie the game. And Coach Sullivan really, really didn't take too kindly to that retaliation penalty from Rodriguez and really gave him the stare down. I'm actually shocked that Rodriguez got to play the rest of that game and wasn't nailed to the bench. But being shorthanded, I don't think Sullivan was in a position to bench a player like Rodriguez that could supply offense. And with all of his speed in that game, I don't think he could have sat him.
That's a regular season move. That's not a playoff move.
In the regular season, there's no question his ass would have been nailed to the bench. But this, this draws up a little bit of controversy that we're going to talk about after this segment. But this replay starts with the Zibanejad goal, then it takes us through and it shows us the penalty, the retaliation penalty. So let's take a peek.
Talk about it being a sore spot all
nothing
season long
better
in the playoffs. Puck possession, right? You win a draw, you dictate the terms. Zibanejad wins that draw. Strong for Zibanejad, he scores! It took only 5 seconds. Zibanejad won the faceoff and scores his first goal of the series on the power play.
So it was actually the first goal for the Rangers to get them on the board and really get the monkey off the back of Zibanejad, who was not only getting destroyed in faceoffs in the series, but really didn't have any goals or really any offense to show for it. And this really took the monkey off his back for Zibanejad, not only on the draws, but also scoring a goal on the power play.
So slight correction there, though. You said it led immediately to a Zibanejad goal. It took 5 seconds, actually.
But that was what is immediately? That's immediate. 5 seconds is immediately.
I don't know. It should be instantaneous.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Stare to Rodriguez. Right there. Quick little.
So that cross check to the back. I mean, look, you could see both officials here, and how much
one's
all
a linesman.
season long. What's that?
One's a linesman.
Yeah, but still, all season long, we've been talking about how shitty these refs are. And you know what?
I don't think that was a penalty. You think that was a penalty?
You think that was a penalty?
I think he goes to cut back and he just
Mike Sullivan, look at that
because he's
stare to Rodriguez. Right there.
I don't think he gets him that hard. I don't think it's penalty worthy. I've seen cross checks along the board way harder than that weren't called.
Yeah, and in this series, right? There was tons that were called throughout the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think that's a penalty.
No.
Quick little.
All right.
He did not call it, but
But that is interference. Any day of the week and twice on Sunday, what Rodriguez did was interference. Lindgren was away from the puck and Rodriguez hit him. It's interference. It's a penalty every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Plus, it's a retaliation penalty, which refs love to call.
Go back a little bit.
Sure. How far?
Just right there.
right there. Quick little cross check. Referee did not call it, but this is where.
All right. Now,
you think he was finishing his check?
Lindgren is the last guy to touch the puck. The puck is within a stick's length. I don't think that's interference.
I mean, this is where you have to take a deep breath.
He just played the puck.
I mean, this is where you have to look at that stare to Rodriguez.
All right, hang on. Let's take a look at it.
Right there. Quick little cross check. Referee did not call it.
He touched the puck right there.
Yeah, but I think the puck deflected off of Rodriguez's skate.
Yeah,
and that's why it wasn't further away. That's why it wasn't further away from Lindgren.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
I think it was an interference call. But what did they even give him the penalty? Was it interference? Was the call, or was it cross checking or roughing?
Probably roughing at that point.
You think it was roughing?
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that a little bit later on.
We just did.
No, we're going to talk about it a little bit more actually.
We don't have to. We just did.
No, we have to.
45 tonight.
We have to. But all in all, 3-3 in the third period, and this was just a heartbreaking goal.
Is on here with Zibanejad and Kreider.
Up to Louis Castillo. Oh, he dropped the ball.
He scores!
It's a tough way to lose a hockey game. Just over a minute left to go in the third period. Bill, I do have a question for you. Jari played Game 7, which was 2 days later than this Game 6. Do you think his health improved that much that he in 2 days that he just got to start in Game 7, or was this the goal the catalyst to say, okay, Louis can't be our goalie anymore. We got to even a hurt Jari is better than Louis Domingue? Because I got to think, if Jari was healthy enough to play Game 7, why wasn't he healthy enough to play Game 6? And you're playing with house money at that point. You're letting Jari go in there, win or lose. You still got another game, but it gives Jari the extra game to get himself settled, get himself maybe into some sort of rhythm. I didn't understand that if Jari was healthy enough for Game 7, why he didn't play Game 6 when they're just playing with house money.
Dr. Harkness, I don't know if you could maybe explain the healing process for broken bones. I know you've gone through them.
I can absolutely explain that. You know how many bones I broke?
What difference does 2 days make? I don't know. I don't know his particular situation. Could he have played Game 6? I couldn't really say, but for sure that almost 100% they rushed him back sooner than they would have wanted to, because it was a Game 7, because it was their last chance, and because they knew that Domingue, Domingue stepped in and did a serviceable job in these playoffs, but he was not.
Not serviceable. He did a great job, Bill.
He did not steal them any games. He was not so good that he was staring down the Rangers and they weren't like riding a wave of Louis Domingue. It wasn't happening. He did a serviceable job, but let's not go too much farther than that. But yeah, I mean, they got to Game 7 and they, I think, that goal, whether it was that goal or whatever else, I think they knew that their luck had run out with them, and it was desperation time. And it's like, and that's what you always say. And it's almost like a sports cliche. Like, well, if it was Game 7 of the finals, yeah, I'd be out there. Or it's not the finals, but you know what I mean. This is Game 7. Your season's on the line. The guy's going to be out there, and he probably came back early, and probably came back earlier than they would have wanted. But you know what? Now he's got the rest of the season to figure that out. The rest of the offseason.
But in Game 7, I thought Jari played great in Game 7. And I just thought if they gave an extra game, that maybe that Game 7 would have been a little bit different. But again, hindsight is always 20/20 at this point in time.
Yeah, but even tracking earlier in the series, when they were reporting that he was starting to skate, like, I don't know how early they were ramping him up. Really, it's not like he was it's not like he was skating the entire time that this series was going on. So if there could have been
No, but he was practicing though. I think he started practicing and skating after game 4. So he was at least on the ice and taking shots.
Yeah. But I don't question their process or whatever. And frankly, it was not a difference. All these things that we're talking about, whether this call went this way, whether that went that way, the Rangers were the better team. They were going to find a way to win those games. And we were all going to get to this same place anyway. Crosby goes down, Crosby doesn't go down. Kind of all irrelevant as far as I'm concerned.
And that takes us now to game 7. Now, Rangers Penguins game 7, the most watched round 1 game ever.
On TNT.
I don't think it was just TNT. I think it was ever, which is amazing stat. I'm really shocked to hear that. But probably one of the most controversial goals of the entire series came in the second period when, Jake Gensel has just annihilated the Rangers in the entire first round. Somehow kicks the fucking puck up in the air and then bats it down with a stick. One of the most beautiful hand-eye coordination goals I have ever seen. However, to me, it was a little high. It was just high, in my opinion.
How many times have they gone head-to-head? Crosby and Zibanejad. Crosby the victor. Let's hang. Swings it over. Crosby. Rust in front. Gensel right there. And it's in. Score! Gensel finds a way!
One of the most incredible goals I've ever seen. They're looking for a high stick. I don't think it's enough to overturn it. The Penguins win this face-off, and Jake Gensel's going to go to the...
But the Penguins announcer said it right there. I don't think there's enough to overturn it because they called it a goal on the ice. Is he okay?
Are you talking to me?
You're here, buddy. You're like right at your camera.
I know. I can't. I need those glasses that let you see mirror because now I'm trying to stare at your little screen on my device.
Oh,
so
I'm sorry.
So it's just because I'm trying to see it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna bring it up to my
know what the
notes.
fuck you're doing.
And up, it's just reaching for that puck to grab it out
I'm
of
trying
the
to get to
air.
one angle,
Jake
and hopefully they
Gensel
show
for
this
foot.
one particular angle because
I don't know. I don't think there's enough to turn that over.
Oh my God,
wasn't that one.
it's definitely a high stick. What the hell are they talking about?
I mean, you can look at it from every angle.
Not enough to turn it over.
A tough
Yeah,
one
look, I
here.
understand it's where the puck hits the stick and it hits the heel.
Well, I don't
Still,
see
the
them
heel was
overturning that,
above the
Mearsy.
fucking
It's-
crossbar.
They have to have...
I caught the wrong replay of it because I need the angle from the side. The side that showed the dasher on the far boards, the blue line on the dasher showed that his heel of his stick, when it touched the puck, was above the crossbar because that blue line was above the crossbar height. That side angle showed it clear as crystal that it was high. And I didn't understand how Toronto missed that.
Because they don't use logic when they're watching these videos. They don't understand like the perspective. They don't understand like they don't understand what the fuck they're looking at. It was obviously a high stick. Obviously, I can't. It couldn't be more clear.
It's 2022. Can't we just put a camera? Cameras are literally the smallest thing imaginable. They fit in the front screen of your fucking cell phone.
They
can't
do?
put a fucking camera somewhere along the boards, aimed right at the goal net, right at goal height, so that when a play like this happens, you can fucking see it better.
Well, doesn't Toronto say that they have cameras in places that are not accessible to the broadcast television, right? For Toronto, like in the post, don't they have them in the post?
They're all
but
right above the ice.
They're above the ice. Oh, that's perfect. Never mind, we're good. So that takes us to kind of later on in the game, as it progressed.
We got to go through every goal.
There was just parts of each game. So right before the tying goal, third period by Zibanejad.
We wouldn't have been doing any of this shit.
No, because we definitely wouldn't have had time for it. Well, we're a hockey podcast. Let's talk about hockey. So Lafreniere goes behind the net with Peterson, and
Felt like
this happens.
there should have been a penalty on the play, but that is not the case.
I mean, I don't know. Lafreniere looks like he's falling down. He's trying to
What
keep
don't you
his
know?
balance. I don't think one of the things that was said about Lafreniere when he was drafted is that he has a really high hockey IQ. If this was on purpose, this is a fucking genius play.
It was on
Genius
purpose.
play.
Write him up for
Exactly.
Mensa because it was on fucking purpose. Come on.
Exactly. You said it was on purpose?
Yes, it was on purpose.
You
So write
think
him up for Mensa.
you think he's that brilliant that he's gonna rip this friggin' because he knows that the chin strap is very loose in this guy, and he's just gonna rip the helmet off because he knows this guy's got to get off the ice?
He's a
Well,
dirty
and
fucking
that's-
Ranger. And yes, when anything that they could do, they did the whole series. So yes.
How about even more controversy? Go ahead and play the video.
Sure.
There should have been a penalty on the play.
Wow,
but that-
the ref right there. The ref's not even looking, not even paying any attention because he's looking at the puck. Isn't there another referee that should have been looking at this?
Yeah, he's tough. Where's the helmet? Look, all right, stop. No, go back.
I'm trying to pause it right at where he
Should have
gets
been a
up.
penalty on the play, but that is not the case.
Okay. The helmet is by his stick blade, right?
Yeah, probably right along the boards, or it's underneath Lafreniere, but Lafreniere is getting up and skating away.
He doesn't have to go to the bench.
They were talking about that. Nobody fucking knows that rule, apparently. Nobody.
That's on the fucking player. He should know. All he's got to do is immediately pick up the helmet, put it on. He doesn't even have to do the chin strap.
It's not on the player.
He's
It's
got
not
to
on the
know
player.
that.
It's on the coach. It's on the
No,
coach for
come
telling
on.
them that what they
Come on.
need to do. And even Sullivan in the press conference after the game said he had to get off the ice.
You're a player. You got to know those types of rules. Stick
I-
curve is a stick curve on the coach.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all because he should have. Every player should know the rules of the game and what you can and
Absolutely.
cannot get away with.
Especially that one.
But I didn't. I mean, look, I'm only an expert because I have a microphone in front of me. But I had no idea that you can just stop and put the helmet on and that satisfies everything. I didn't, and you don't even have to put chin strap on. You
Right,
just have to
just
put
put
your
it
lid
on.
on, put the bucket on, and you're good to go. Apparently, nobody knows that.
I knew it.
So, Peterson gets off the ice, and then
Rodriguez knocks it to the boards. Patterson does head to the bench, replaced by Letang.
Okay. Now stop.
Now Zibanejad with a shot. He scores!
I thought the mouse was further over. Sorry about that.
Go back.
You want what, Letang?
Yeah.
Okay. So Letang
The bench replaced by
is
Letang.
down.
He's in position.
And now he's in prime, perfect position.
He's in position.
It's not prime, but he's getting there. He was in position, yeah.
He was just too far away from the man he was supposed to be closer to. But he had enough time to get on the ice, get in position, and know where he should be.
Yeah, but he was definitely a little too far
He was
down,
too deep.
and he was screening Jari a little bit, wasn't he?
But went right through. Didn't it go through his legs or something too?
Now Zibanejad with a shot. Patterson does head to the bench, replaced by Letang. Now Zibanejad with a shot. He scores!
That point, I got to tell you, I was thinking about a lot of things going through my brain before that goal was scored. And then, regulation ends, and then we get to overtime.
Can I jump in?
Sure,
This
go
is
ahead.
why the previous game, I thought you had said one of the goals was more important than Zibanejad's. That, for me, his two goals were more important than any other goal scored except for the Hedel goal, just because that gave him the confidence. That, like you said, that took the monkey off his back and really got him into the series.
Oh, yeah.
He was absent for 5 games.
He was absent for 5 games. There's no question about that. And he was really good on faceoffs in game 7. Really, like, even beating Crosby. Crosby probably still playing with a concussion, but Zibanejad played an excellent last half of that series. And then they go to overtime, and then they're kind of, I don't want to say gifted a penalty because it was a penalty. I'm just surprised it wasn't a penalty shot. I thought it should have been a penalty shot more than it should have been a just a power play. But it wasn't. Panarin gets the well, we'll just which one do we want to hear first?
Chronological order. Oh, you got to go home team first if you have them both.
Well, we got to go national broadcast first.
Oh, okay.
Panarin, right wing circle, shoots, he scores!
Okay, next. We're good. We don't have to,
That's awesome.
we don't have to hear everything.
Yes, we do. And this was the MSG call. This was Sam and Joe.
Now Panarin moves in, he shoots, he scores! He scores! Rangers win!
Rangers win! Pause.
And then I wanted to find the Pittsburgh one.
No, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, I think we're all right.
It's, you know,
I don't need to relive this moment, 85 times.
it is a little douchey of you to do all this. You know that, right?
What?
So the fact that we had to hear the national broadcast of it and the local broadcast of it.
All right, fine.
That's a
I won't
little
give you. I
douchey.
won't give you the Pittsburgh one. Fine, no problem. But the Rangers come back.
Spirit of compromise.
And look, they rallied a lot in this series. They rallied in game 3 down 4-1 to eventually lose that game. They rallied in 5 and 6 from 2-0 down, and they rallied in game 7 from 2-1 and 3-2 down.
Again, why were you even down? How much sense does that make? They didn't have Dumoulin. They didn't have Crosby for a couple of games. They were on their third string goaltender. And even when they were healthy, they stunk in the last month of the season. Why were you ever down? That's my only question.
Gensel. That's the reason. Jake Gensel, 9 goals in the series.
He's
9
good.
goals.
It's good.
So Rangers move on to Carolina, where they're gonna be in for it. Carolina, even though they went to game 7 against Boston and won, it's going to be a very, very challenging series for them. A lot of speed, a lot of defense. Freddie Anderson's going to be back for the Hurricanes in net. It's going to be a very challenging series for the Rangers.
You know what, guys? We should get Randy on the line.
Totally.
Well, I think Randy is ill.
Oh,
I
I
think
really
he
want to
has
talk to
COVID.
Randy tonight. Let's get
Now
him.
Randy
you
and
wanna
Nick are
talk-
both ill?
Now you want to talk to Randy?
Yeah, let's get him up. Is he
That
not
is
available? Oh, he's not
shocking.
available. Damn, I really want to talk to him tonight.
So, Bill, where do the Pens go from here?
I don't know. Are we talking about off-season stuff already? Like, yeah, from here, I mean, okay, it's been 4 years without getting out of the first round. Everybody more than appreciates what the core guys have done. The Letang and Malkin and Crosby core, an unprecedented trio playing 16 seasons together. Mind blowing, and in the playoffs every single one of those seasons. It's remarkable. They got their cups out of it. And what I love to see, in an ideal world, do I somehow see them all go to the playoffs together again? Sure, that would be great. But things have to change if they're going to advance in the playoffs. You don't want to be the team that's just going to the playoffs just to wave hello and say goodbye after one round. There's no point to it. Like, there's 3 kinds of teams that make the playoffs. There's legitimate Stanley Cup contenders. You got like teams like Colorado goes in, they're a real contender, and Carolina thinks they're a real contender, and Florida thinks they're a real contender. Tampa's one of the last 2; they're real contenders. So those guys are going for a cup, right? And then you've got like the teams that are in that category of the up and coming teams that, like, okay, they're going to the playoffs and they don't have a lot of playoff experience, but they're trying to get something to build on. And the Rangers are the very obvious one in that category in our conversation here. And there's probably others as well. It's not that the Rangers don't have championship aspirations this season, but it wouldn't be a letdown if you don't get there if you have a good showing, right? because you're building on something. This isn't going to be their only time in the playoffs. But then you have on the other end teams like Pittsburgh. They're going to the playoffs. They're a veteran team. They go to the playoffs fully knowing they're not going to win. They're not going to win a Stanley Cup with that group. And so 4 straight seasons into the playoffs and straight out of the playoffs in one round, they can't. Status quo can't be the thing. All of those guys were under contract until this year. Now Letang and Malkin are free agents, and it's time for things to change. And whether it is keeping them, if Malkin wants to take a pay cut and wants to take a diminished role, then maybe they could find a role for him. Letang, I'd love to see him back, but if they can get him back at the salary he's been making all these years, then that would be great. But they can't really afford to pay him more. Letang, I would take back in a heartbeat. He had a great season, but you got to start using that cap space capital to, if you want to get any more runs out of Crosby, it's you got to build something new. You got to bring in some new parts. It can't be the same old thing. So that's what they're facing right now. The choice there.
Where does Rust fall on that list?
High priority. So
yeah, okay.
Very high priority. Rust is a much bigger priority than Malkin. If they can't swing Rust and Letang, then I would still favor Rust. Getting Rust back if they can possibly do it. But on the other hand, Ricard Raquel, when he stepped in, he had instant chemistry with Crosby on the right wing. If somebody's going to throw the kind of money at Rust that the Penguins just can't, if there's no viable way to bring him back, I wouldn't mind them going after Raquel and trying to retain him as kind of a plan B there.
Okay.
You're going to lose Jeff Carter too, right? I mean, I thought that was, out of anybody, the last 2 seasons, he was probably the best Penguins acquisition that they could have gotten. He played tremendous for them.
He's been Hextall's best acquisition, I think, and he has signed past this season. I think he signed through next season.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
Definitely through next season. Maybe the season after. I forget. They gave him a bigger extension than they thought they did. But he's definitely signed through next season at least.
And Jari,
Evan Rodriguez is
Benny's a free agent this year, which you got to think he'll get overpaid by somebody.
Yeah, that's pretty likely. I don't expect him back.
But
and they're kind of loaded with right-handed forwards, so.
But you don't think these guys are going to take deals like the Cizikises of the world and the Clutterbucks of the world who take probably less than what their market value was to stay on a team to try and do something?
It's possible that Malkin will take that team-friendly deal because he's already intimated that he might. At some point in the press conference earlier this season, he said, I'm already very wealthy, or he made some kind of comment like that. He's like, I've got enough money or something like that to kind of in a joking way, like suggest, whatever his contract is, that his preference would be to stay in Pittsburgh. And Crosby and Malkin are very good friends, away from the team. They're very close. So that could factor into it as well. But Letang, he kind of holds his cards close to the vest, and I don't really have that much of a read on him. He could very well want to test the free agency waters and go to the highest bidder. I don't get that feeling that he's so into Pittsburgh that he would take less money to stay.
Well, that'll just about do it for the Pengs. Listen, it's going to be for a lot of these teams, it's going to be a very interesting offseason to see what happens with everybody's free agents, what type of cap implications go on. But Arizona, Seattle, those teams, they have a lot of cap space, and they plan on using it this offseason. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens for sure. By way of being a moron, we get more listeners. There has been so many people who have listened to the Spit and Chicklets podcast. There's tons of people that listen to that, right?
Oh God, yeah, that's a biggie.
It's
That's
the number
that's a
one.
biggie.
It's the number one hockey podcast, right? Other than
That's-
maybe
that's-
32 Thoughts with Elliot Friedman. I mean, that's great. I listen to that all the time. That's where I steal all my information from. I'm only kidding.
No.
I openly tell you that I stole it from him. But I mean, this guy goes on a fucking rant about the Penguins in the first round series and more specifically to the penalty that Rodriguez took against Lindgren. So let's take a listen to Biz and see what he has to say.
I know I mentioned last podcast, one of the worst rules, if not the worst rule in the NHL, is when the referee calls the 5 just so.
Hold on. This is about the helmet rule. I didn't hear this one. I think I bookmarked the wrong one.
He can get the replay on it, but then has to call 2. All right, you were bringing it up, and the fact that Lafreniere and keep in mind when I'm bitching about the Rodriguez situation, I don't even need Lindgren to get the penalty there. I just don't need you to call a bullshit penalty on Rodriguez. Just like I don't want to call on Lafreniere. Why the fuck does he have to leave the ice and isn't allowed to play the puck when Lafreniere didn't need to? The puck had already left. The battle was already done. He puts him in a headlock and rips his helmet off. Now, some people were saying, oh, well, you could just like bend over and grab your helmet and put it back on. Oh, yeah? You're just going to stop in the midst of the play, take your glove off. And the problem with that is, well, most of you people,
I mean,
Take your glove off.
of course you would just put the helmet on. It takes far where he was in that position. It was so much easier to pick the helmet on and put it on so you don't have to go to the fucking bench so someone else has to come on.
Hello. You think it's that easy to pick something up and put it on your head?
chin strap is still done up. So you
get
got
it
to
on.
undo the chin
That
strap,
easy.
to put your helmet on. Oh,
Look, he doesn't have to undo the chin strap because it's so fucking loose that he can just put it on his head without undoing the chin strap.
Oh yeah, good call there, man. There goes 15 seconds, and then you're right back in the same exact situation you would have been anyway. So it's the NHL. I don't know who overthought this and decided that this should be a rule. Hey, if the guy wants to stay out there and play without a helmet, McTavish did it for many years, and he's fine.
I really hope next season there is a player who goes and they overreact and just go, don't, I got to pick up my helmet and put it on my head because it's so difficult.
Fucking great.
But they're doing this for players' safety.
Oh, fuck it. They're a joke. Yeah.
No,
With the
they're
players'
doing it
safety.
because some lawyer told them you have to do it.
Well, it's just like the fucking nets around the arena. You think that everybody who goes to a hockey game wants to catch a puck. They absolutely do. But now it's so much harder to catch a puck because you have nets that are blocking things because some little girl died. And I'm not saying that is a bad thing. Look, the nets should be up there to protect.
It was a bad thing. Are you kidding? It was a horrible thing. Tom.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It was it is a horrible thing.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but you know,
Poor Brittany Cecil.
you are fucking heartless, man. Jesus Christ. It's just a fucking net. Relax.
But he is taking so much
How
slack
does it
on
take
Twitter.
15 seconds to bend over and pick up a helmet and put it on your head?
There has been so many people on Rangers Twitter going, is there a Rangers podcast I can listen to? Because I can't listen to Spit and Chicklets anymore. And
This
I
is
mean,
a hat.
he's
This is the hat right here. I want
Right.
you to count.
What-
Ready
what
to
are you
start
doing?
the timer,
don't
okay?
drop it. You dropped it.
Ready?
Yeah, go. 2, 3.
How long did
It's
that
like
take?
3. It was like 3.5 seconds. 3.5
Huh?
seconds.
I
But
could have scored 8 times in that amount.
but no, you forgot to complain to the ref that someone pulled your hat off. So you got to do that first.
And then throw my arms up first.
Right. And do all of that. But I put the Friends and Rivals podcast Twitter handle in there, and I even put some shows on there for people so that they can find Friends and Rivals podcast. So
you got your fucking Rangers filled tonight.
if you are a former Spit and Chicklets listener and have now enjoyed the Friends and Rivals podcast, I say welcome. welcome. Let us know on Twitter at friends_rivals if you are listening to this podcast because you fucking now hate Biz on Spit and Chicklets. And
can't put the helmet on.
In the TNT thing that they do, it's the studio
They're
show.
terrible. They're
It
so
is,
bad.
It is even listen. Gretzky is. I mean,
no, he's not. He's not broadcast material.
He's not a personality.
Studio, and you're right. He's not a personality. You're 100% right. Let him be an ambassador to the game in other ways other than trying to draw up some ratings on TNT. It's bad. It is really
guys like
bad.
that are like guys like Gretzky and don't nail me for putting Crosby and Gretzky in the same sentence, but guys like Gretzky and Crosby are like these weird like autistic sort of hockey autism things, right? Like they're
kind of like you trying to form a sentence.
Exactly, precisely. Like
how much cold medicine are you on right now?
Oh my god, Bill! I've known you for like 30 years. That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard come out of your mouth.
Just mark it. 50 minutes in, we're good. 50 minutes in. But let us know, and we say welcome to one and all. You will love it here. Ish.
Yeah, because it's Tom's podcast and he's a Rangers fan, and you'll get your fill of Rangers.
And like you said,
you'll get the shit on the Devils. You'll get everything a Rangers fan wants. You'll get pro Rangers coverage, and you'll get shit on the Islanders, shit on the Devils coverage. That's everything you guys want.
The last 2 years, I got to tell you, it was miserable at this time of the year doing this podcast and having to listen to Nick just talk about the Islanders over and over. And I mean, look, it's depressing when he does it now, but to have them have success pained me. So I'm getting all of that out right now. And I expect more pain the second round, but we'll see.
Just for the record, for those of you keeping score at home, also, my $8.55 on bet on the Rangers to win the series against Carolina will net me $14.70 when the Rangers win.
Wow. Rangers in 7, by the way. Rangers in 7, by the way.
Okay.
First. Rangers in 7.
I got to be honest with you. I have no feeling on how this series is going. This is as down the middle as it can get.
I thought they would have handled Boston a little bit more thoroughly, even though I picked Boston in the series. I still think it was going to be a fairly quick series, but they let Boston, really, the home team won every game in that series.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
And now it's time for Trivia with Bill. Ugh.
Now this is the wrong Bill.
All right. Trivia question number 72.
Is it Paul Bissonnette?
That is incorrect.
Okay.
Do you want the multiple choice?
No.
What did Florida Panthers fans throw on the ice?
Oh, God, this is so fucking easy.
During the 1995-96 season. It is easy, isn't it?
It is.
Absolutely. It's going to be a short one, quick one.
Octopus.
No, that's the Detroit Red Wings do that.
Okay.
No, not that. That's not the Florida Panthers.
Well, they threw actual live Panthers on the ice.
Oh, that would be very dangerous.
Could you imagine trying to smuggle a panther into the arena?
No.
I'm gonna say the fans in Florida were all had this premonition that somewhere down the line there would be another team in the NHL, and they decided to throw Kraken onto the ice.
Well, that's an octopus, isn't it? Isn't it a fucking Kraken? An octopus?
Different kind of octopus.
I didn't even know a Kraken was an octopus.
Is it Kraken?
Is it? What is it?
But it was not a Kraken. No.
Release the Kraken. Right? Yeah, that's an octopus, right?
Weird. I don't know.
They threw pucks. It's a hockey game.
Well, no.
That would just confuse people.
I'm going to say no to that.
Not.
everybody knows that when something good at a hockey game happens, you throw your hat onto the ice.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, hat tricks. No.
Yes.
That is not what they threw on the ice during the 1995-96 season, except unless I guess obviously if there was a hat trick, then I think they probably did. But that's not what they're going for. That's not the multiple choice answer.
95, 96.
I would say helmets, but nobody would know what to do with them because once a helmet is on the ice, it's like, what do you do? I don't know what to do.
Well, no, fucking Craig McTavish was in the league back then.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He wouldn't be able to do
nothing
anything.
ever happened to him.
Nothing.
It's not like they're not shooting the puck, 15 miles an hour faster now with these sticks than with wood sticks back then. But,
The answer is not Roman war helmets. No.
Okay.
Ooh. With battle damage?
That's South Florida, right? South Florida?
Actually, I have it. And this is why they're all banned now. So if you go to a sporting event, you're not allowed, you get like a Gatorade or a water or something. They take the caps off.
Of the bottle caps.
So, bottle caps. They threw bottle caps.
No, they didn't throw bottle caps. But yeah, I do wonder how that evolved. That whole we have to take the cap away thing.
I think actually, to be honest with you, I think it was of course it was Philadelphia. It was an Eagles game where they got hosed out of some call and everybody threw fucking the caps onto the field. I think it was an Eagles
no,
game.
if you throw a water bottle with a cap on it, it becomes a projectile. If you throw a water bottle without a cap on it, the water flies out and it loses speed. It's not as heavy.
Look at the big brain on Steve.
Really, your logic is
wow.
That's what they told me when I got arrested.
Wow.
What Panther is it? Rubbers? Did they throw rubbers onto the ice?
Why would they throw rubbers onto the ice?
I don't know, guy.
You're talking condoms, right?
Yeah.
What?
No, I'm talking fucking rubbers for their shoes so they don't slip.
Sylvester, don't forget your rubbers.
Used or unused? I just need a clarification if it's used or unused.
Of course, used.
Used.
Is that one of the?
No, that's
is that
not
one of the multiple choice by chance? I think we got to go to Tommy. Do we have to go to the multiple choice?
Well, no, not yet. I mean, like it's South Florida.
South Florida.
South Florida.
Cocaine.
So, yeah, I was gonna say
cocaine,
something like a Cuban sandwich.
Was not a cocaine Cuban sandwich.
Wow. We got any cocaine Cuban sandwiches around here? I can go
cocaine Cuban sandwiches.
Sounds fucking delicious.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Just save the Cuban sandwich part.
Empanada?
No, should I give you a hint that it's not food?
Oh.
It's not really food.
Man. Well, how do you know it's not food?
Yeah, I mean, that's
not typical human.
It's subjective. That's very subjective.
I don't know.
I mean, certain I won't even say.
I mean, I'm sure some fucking Chinese restaurants.
Rats. I just can't get it.
We can't say racist things. That's why I stopped myself.
Racist thing? That's a restaurant might have something like that. That's why. How is that being racist?
I'm not saying.
Did you ever live behind a restaurant?
Oh,
I did.
I don't even know how I'm going to edit this now.
What is so bad about this?
Okay. Just everybody, if you're new to the podcast, Tom lives in Florida.
So
it's okay.
Sesame chicken in here.
So it's okay.
I got one good restaurant, the food place. It got taken over by new owners, I guess, new people, and the food is not as good as it was. And now I need a new food place. But there is like multiple restaurants that this has happened to. So when we had two good food restaurants, and now we have no good food restaurants down here. It's very frustrating.
Yes, our listeners, I'm sure, feel your.
And this has been Food Restaurants with Tom Harkness.
I'm gonna go review them all and be like the Barstool guy. Be like Dave Portnoy.
I have a feeling like a top 5 restaurant list is coming up.
No. Top 5 food menu items.
No.
Oh,
I only eat 3, so I don't
fucking
know.
Dumplings. Oh my.
Okay. Can we get? I'm insisting we go to multiple choice now.
Oh, okay. A, rats. B, catfish.
Ooh.
C, lobsters. D, octopuses, which we already.
Well,
which we
listen,
already knew.
Fucking
you have to know
lobsters.
that the where the Florida Panthers are in Sunrise,
Yeah.
it's in a very well-to-do neighborhood.
So you think it's lobsters?
It's very hoity-toity over there. So I mean,
Were they
I'm
playing
thinking-
there in 1996? Have they moved arenas?
no,
since then?
they've always been in Sunrise.
Okay.
So I gotta think that it's lobsters.
Okay, so Tom's going lobsters.
Lobsters.
I already said octopi. We know that's not the answer. What were the other two?
Rats or catfish?
I'm going catfish.
One of us got to be right. One of us got.
And neither of you are correct,
What?
which means it's
Octopus.
Rats.
rats. Oh, rats.
Rats.
For those
Oh.
of you new to the podcast,
Rats.
Tom and I intentionally get the answers wrong during this segment. We knew it was rats the whole time.
So are you telling me that Chinese food places don't use substitute rats or cats?
No,
anything
they
that rhymes
don't.
with
That's
that?
disgusting.
You can't say these things.
Why?
We're a nationally syndicated
Holy
program.
shit.
What am I supposed to say?
First of all, you can't say it. Second of
what?
all,
Chinese
you are
food?
immediately eliminating Chinese restaurants from the list of sponsors we can possibly get by saying this.
I mean,
And Tom,
I don't
please.
know.
Tom, this is a podcast. I want you to stop peeling the corners of your eyes back like that while you say those things.
I am not doing anything of the sort. What are you talking about?
Shogun 27 now is never going to sponsor us.
They're great though.
What's
I
the
like
what's
them.
the what's the Chinese restaurant that's in all the malls?
I
Sure.
just in fact
Panda
out of a mall
Express.
Chinese restaurant.
Panda Express,
Oh,
never
Panda,
going to be a
okay.
sponsor of the show now.
Do you remember that bit Eddie Murphy did? I'll have a Big Mac, large fry, and a strawberry shake.
No.
You don't remember that when he was when the Chinese people come over here and make fun of us? God damn.
If we are, 529.
Wow. Nobody's ever going to hear all of this stuff. They're going to miss out on all of this gold.
Fucking John Panette going to a fucking all-you-can-eat Chinese food. buffet. You'll be here for an hour. You leave now.
Walking in saying, me and a bunch of my friends are going, we're all coming from Weight Watchers. We're all going off the wagon tonight.
God damn.
Shamers.
All right, let's go to this date Steve's stomach.
Oh, that feels better.
This one's going to bring us to the year of our Lord, 2015. Please go to May 20th. May 20. And let us know what you ate that day.
May 20th, 2015 was a Wednesday. I enjoyed a Coca-Cola Zero 20 ounce for breakfast with a Milky Way.
Of course. Of course.
Lunch was a bacon single cheeseburger from Shake Shack with fries and a Coke Zero. But don't worry, everyone, because I went on the elliptical for 20 minutes after I got home from work that day to just burn all those calories.
There you go.
Dinner was a delicious chicken sandwich and appetizer, probably cheese curds at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Fucking cheap. Those cheese curds
Because
are
Wednesday,
phenomenal.
May 20th, 2015 was a guy's night out.
Oh, fantastic.
So now I will ask you, Tom, why did you pick Wednesday, May the 20th?
That was,
I think I know.
You do.
Ooh.
You do know?
Ooh.
Go for it.
I think I know.
Well, and now it's time for trivia with Tom.
No, Bill,
Yuck.
go ahead. Bill, if you know it, I want to hear it.
Did you pick the last time the Rangers completed a 3-1 comeback against the Penguins?
No, that was 14, not 15.
Oh.
It would have been
Thought you would have gone for that.
It would have been topical. But I tried to last week we started talking about late night talk show hosts and stuff like that. That was David Letterman's final episode that he aired was May 20th, 2015.
Now take your pencil and fling it behind.
Yeah,
you.
woohoo! That was wasn't bad. That was an hour and 10. That's not well, maybe closer to an hour and 5, maybe an hour.
But we haven't wrapped it up yet.
Stupid, we're not done yet.
I mean, we're close enough.
But you didn't say
not
goodbye
like
to everybody.
It's not like we're gonna go on another fucking rant about Chinese food.
You're breaking down the fourth wall right now by giving everybody the post-game commentary. Can I just say, hey, best wishes to Hugh Weber and Steve Cangelosi, who both left the Devils organization in one way or another this past week.
What does that make them? Smarter than us. No, listen, I didn't even know who the fuck that first person was.
No, I mean he had no hands on actual Devils, like player personnel moves or anything like that. He was strictly, behind the scenes, hiring and firing the right people.
Oh, well, all right, good. Well, I'm glad he's gone. And listen, Cangelosi, I mean, he went up a couple octaves when he called the Devil's goal. He definitely, his passion level for the game was certainly there. So I definitely commend.
It's going to be interesting to see where he pops up now, because he left for a better opportunity, they're saying.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's better than the Devils?
He's very big with MLS.
Oh, really?
So I don't know if it's something with MLS on a grander scale. I don't know. I think ESPN has their broadcast rights, maybe more of a national face for broadcasting soccer. I don't know.
Soccer. Yeah.
But the lobbyists are already out trying to get the job for Don LaGreca.
Well, you are. You're the lobbyist.
There were several comments made on several Devils Facebook groups echoing my sentiments.
Don LaGreca is our perfect number 2 on the radio.
Well, we're going to take your number 2 and make it our number 1.
For as much as Kenny Albert does national games, he misses a lot. So having Don LaGreca there is really good. I actually like Don LaGreca a lot. But does he have a face for TV? I mean, he's got a face for radio for sure.
Does Ken Danico have a face for TV?
No. But listen, they put Ken fucking Danico on the NHL network. No. You mark my words right now. Kevin Weeks.
Nope. No, I don't know if he could do play-by-play.
Why? He did play-by-play for the NHL network this year.
No, that wasn't really play. That was like 2 guys hanging out watching the game. That wasn't really like play-by-play.
It was play-by-play. They were calling the game. Well, actually, he wasn't. He was color commentator. He wasn't doing the play-by-play. So you're probably right.
Unfortunately, it sounds like there's a lot of call for Leah Hextall to get.
Oh God in heaven! You will have.
But I would think that's a step back then too. No.
You would have the 2 most unlistenable people.
Yeah.
Broadcasting Devils game, one on TV and one on the fucking radio with Matt Laughlin. Maybe they should just give it to Matt Laughlin.
No, he already had it. They're saying that if they do hire Leah Hextall, though, it would be a big ticket push because nobody would want to watch the game on TV.
that is true. You know what? If it came down between Leah Hextall and Matt Laughlin, I would listen to Matt Laughlin.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do that, right? They wouldn't do that. Come on.
I'm not even familiar with this Leah Hextall person. I would have to look into this.
She did a couple Calgary Dallas games and literally put me to sleep. It was awful. Awful. All right. Yes, we've got another 5 minutes. Sorry, Steve. All right, that's going to do it for Steve is, listen, for those of you new to the podcast, Steve is really hell-bent on doing a 45-minute podcast. He thinks that is the most ideal time to do a podcast.
It really is.
And we will never, ever do a 45-minute podcast.
Right.
That was an hour. That was an hour 5 without Nick, and Nick is a talker.
I missed Randy tonight. I really wish he was.
Oh, me too. So bad. Oh,
well, listen,
really
we'll
to
have
get his
we
insight.
have him lined up for next week.
Oh, can't wait.
So can't wait for that. So don't forget to follow us on Twitter at @friends_rivals. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We will read them on the air if you want us to. Turn on notifications so you never miss an episode of the Friends and Rivals podcast. Billy, say something, Woody.
So there's good news and bad news. So the good news is thanks to the pushback on the Spit and Chicklets podcast, we've had a rise in our listenership of about 30%, which is phenomenal. So thank you for that. The bad news, most of them are Ranger fans, and our average IQ of our listeners has dropped 30 points.
Hey.
So that's the bad news.
Well, and one last thing, and I'm sorry for doing this. It's about fucking time, Alex, that you fucking followed us on Twitter, by the way. Jesus Christ. Sing us out.
Oh, my friends and rivals. Flyers fuck, flyers fuck, flyers fuck off. Flyers fuck, flyers fuck, flyers fuck off.
He'll like that. If he listens to the end, I don't know. Oh, we'll find out now if he does.
We'll find out.